You know what the only bad part about this is? Is that we're going to split the next 2 cups in 2. Hey, this is Romania Black, and we are on episodes 5 and 6 of my rewatch of Yuri on Ice. And I just realized that when I pulled up the episodes, I was like, wait, we're going to do the whole qualifier that Yuri's in, and then we're going to do the first half of the China Cup, and then the next set of episodes is going to be the other half of the China Cup and the first half of the Russian Cup. I was like, dang it, we're going to split them, but it'll be worth it because then the week after that will be the other half of the Russian Cup and the Rings episode. And then we'll round out with the last 2, the World Finals, together as one video. So it'll all shake out. I'm just like, man, it's going to feel kind of like a cliffhanger these next 2 weeks because we're going to have like cups cut in half, which is fine. But yeah, I've really been enjoying rewatching Yuri on Ice in the English dub. It's been a lot of fun. But we've set up Yuri. We've set up Yuri and Yurios. They're short programs. We know they're against each other. Yuri's getting coached by Victor. We see the stakes. And so we've started on Yuri's journey and Yurio's journey to develop as skaters over the next year and over the 3 cups that they're going to compete in. So it's like, yay. Awesome. It's pretty exciting, right? So, yeah, like I said, it's been a while since I've watched these episodes. It's been about half a year, so some stuff is very familiar. I am really excited to get to the point. There's a point in the short program where Yuri is like really good, and I don't know if it's going to be this set or next week or not, but we're going to start meeting our other figure skaters. I'm excited. I decided I'm not going to take notes. The last 2 sets I've taken notes, and I do that with other shows, but I'm like, I'm just going to watch through and talk with y'all, and then afterwards, I think I can just pause it, like turn the sound off and go back through if there's anything I want to check. But taking notes is fun, but I really want to sit here and enjoy. So I bought some iced coffee. I like poured myself some iced coffee. I'm like, I just want to sit here with Yuri and enjoy it. So with that being said, we are going to start Yuri on Ice episodes 5 and 6. I hope you all are enjoying rewatching with me. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we're going to start this next set of episodes and just see what happens. Maybe Yuri will make it to the cup, to the China Cup. We're going to find out here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was episode 6. I was like, one of those episodes is where he does the animation of his hand grasping Victor's and him like pressing their foreheads and being like, don't take your eyes off me. When Yuri gets like the EROS in him, mwah, I just, this, from here on in, I said it in the last set of episodes, episodes 1 and 2 are a solid foundation for Yuri on Ice. Episodes 3 and 4 are incredibly important to the character development, but they're not the best. They're not my favorite episodes. They're just really, really important. Episodes 5 and 6, like, it's all uphill from here. I'm like, let's go. Let's do this. Episode 6 is so freaking good. I love it because it introduced us to our skaters, to everything. It's wonderful. It's so good. So yeah, but like I said, Minami. Oh, Minami. I love it. I love that we get Minami in this. It makes me really hopeful for season 2 if they ever make it for Yuri on Ice, because I was like, Yuri, you have to skate not only against Victor, but also Minami has to make it too. I'm like, he can do it. So I really love that. I love that Minami is like the up-and-comer skater. And the English dub in these 2 episodes is just, the English dub is wonderful. Like I said in the reaction, Chris's English dub, like all the English dub actors do a really, really good job. There are 2 performances that are ridiculous. Like, of course, Yurio and Victor have like the Russian accents and everything. And it's kind of like, it's a little overdone and a lot of people make fun of it, but it's super charming. But there are 2 dubs that I'm like, you either are going to love it or you're going to think it's ridiculous. I love Chris's English dub because it is ridiculous. It's so over the top and wonderful. I love it. JJ in the English dub, we've not seen him yet. I can't stand the English dub for JJ. It's my one beef with the whole English dub is that JJ is atrocious. He just, I guess if your goal was to make him like the skater nobody likes, it works because nobody likes JJ and JJ is literally the worst. I'm like, no. But the problem is when you watch the Japanese dub, Miyano Mamoru plays JJ, and Miyano Mamoru is so damn charming that you're almost like, oh, he's not so bad. And so I kind of do like the English dub of JJ because they make him just loathsome. You just don't like him at all. And that's kind of how his character is. But, oh God, this series, it's so good. And I like that as we get into this, we start to see all the other skaters. We start to see what's driving them, like what's motivating them. And what's fun about this series is that even though we don't focus on a lot of the skaters other than Yuri and Yurio, that we do understand by the end of the season, like their motivations, like why are they skating? What's their whole purpose? Like we get it by the end. That's the fun part, right? That's the part that's fun to watch. And so, oh my gosh. But there's a lot going on in these 2 episodes. There's quite a lot. So you have Victor trying to be a coach, which is his first time doing that. So he's like trying to do like coachy things. Like he's got the little toy dog that he's like trying to use to coax at Yuri and be like, it's okay, and like do that. And he's got wearing the suit to the thing, being like, well, isn't this what coaches do? They wear a suit and all that. And he tries to act like kind of like Yakov, only his version of it. And I love that when Yakov sees him, he's like, you're a terrible coach. Like, you're third rate, blah, blah, blah. Like, how dare you think you can just walk on here and be a coach? And that is true. That is Victor's struggle in this season, is to figure out how to be a motivational coach for Yuri and to figure out how to do that when you can tell that he wants to skate himself. So, but Nanami, little Nanami, I love him in this. He's so sweet. And there's a big message in episode 5 that we had in the last episode about Yuri coming to grips with loving himself, because that's been Yuri's struggle up until this episode, is him finding self-love and self-worth and, you know, raising his esteem and confidence. And Yuri's done okay at that so far. But when he comes with Minami, when Minami comes to him, and he's like, oh my gosh, it's Yuri, it's you. And Yuri, one, doesn't remember who he is, because all I can think about is his past experience where he bombed last year. But when he says my shameful past, and Minami's like, shameful? No, you're not shameful. He's like, I look up to you. Are you saying that I'm stupid for doing that? Like that you're not worthy of me looking up to you? That it's not right? Like, I like that Minami calls him out. He's like, no, if somebody looks up to you, don't diss them. Don't be self-depreciating. And I've seen people on Twitter kind of talk about that too, especially like if they're a content creator or a comedian or something. They talk about like humor, and then it's okay to sometimes poke fun at yourself, but self-deprecating humor, it makes yourself seem less than you are. And if people in any way, shape, or form look up to you and you self-deprecate yourself, it's like, well, then why am I looking up to you? If you don't love yourself, why should I care? So it's like one of those things where there's a really good post on Twitter about it where they were talking about like self-deprecating humor. It's very harmful because you get into the mindset where you start thinking that you really aren't, you know, good enough, or you really are like something that you're not. And so I think Yuri is slowly figuring out like what it's like to be confident and have that self-esteem of himself. And Minami kind of helps him along by showing him like, no, I support you. You're good. You're great. You should believe in yourself. I believe in you, so why can't you believe in yourself? And that sort of situation. And I also just love how much of a freaking ray of sunshine Minami is. He's so like confident and happy and cheerful. It's really, really sweet. But I am glad that Victor gets onto him whenever he talks about his shameful past, and Minami is trying to cheer him on and he kind of ignores him. Victor's like, I'm really disappointed in you. He's like, you know, I figured, you know, how can you be motivating? If you can't inspire others, how can you, you know, inspire yourself? I love it. And I love that Victor gets kind of aggravated and over Yuri being like timid. He's like, I know you're not timid, so quit with the act. And so that whole thing where he makes him turn around and he's like, turn around, let me grab at you. It's one of those things where he's like, you can't be embarrassed. Look, I'm going to have them take all these photos of me grabbing you. Are you embarrassed now? You don't have a choice. It's like, get over it. I love it. It's so good. Victor like getting Yuri outside of his comfort zone and being like, I believe in you. And because that kind of relates to Minami when he's like, I believe in you. Victor's like, I think you're great and wonderful. You've got to convince everybody else on that. And he's like, you turning down Minami's, you know, praise and everything. He's like, what does that say about me liking you just like him? What does that say, you know? I love it. And so the short program at the Japanese qualifiers, it's fine. It's good. Poor guy in his free skate, like hitting his head against the wall and having the nosebleed. It's like, oh, oof. It's just, I forgot that the nosebleed was coming. And then right before it happened, I was like, oh, that's right. So yeah. So Victor getting mad at him because he isn't self-confident. Minami saying that he's going to take him on. This reporter, for all intents and purposes, the Japanese reporter that follows Yuri, he is like the ultimate hype man. He's like just saying the best things about Yuri no matter what to hype him up. But if you look at the animation, whenever Minami's pointing at him, being like, I'll take you on and beat you. If you look over at Victor, Victor's got his arms crossed and you don't see his eyes. And that's when you can tell that he's disappointed. So the animation and the facial expressions, everything in this episode and the next episode are so good. They're wonderful. I love it. Because Minami's like, don't insult me because I based my outfit off of you. He's like, I am paying tribute to you, right? It's great. And then Yuri gets the message and he wishes him good luck right before he skates. And Victor's like, oh, look, you can do it. Look at you. Look at you. So yeah, I think with Minami and Leo, my thing with both of them is I'm not a big fan of the color yellow. And so both their outfits and their color schemes are based on yellow. So it's like, it's fine. But then, yeah, Minami does his skate routine. It's really good. And then Yuri does his. And I like that the very first skate routine we get from Victor's perspective, right? And then the scene that sparked a fandom, the scene where Victor puts the lip gloss on his lips and Minami makes the most inhuman noise, the fangirl squeal. It's one of my favorite moments in the show because it's all of us. We are Minami. He is the fandom and we are him. And them hugging each other. I just him being like, ah! Like I love it. It's the best thing. It's so good. But yeah, I like that we get this whole free skate. The very first time Yuri debuts it, we get it from Victor's perspective, which I think is interesting. I think it's curious that we get Victor's thoughts about it, not Yuri's. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think it ends with the final skate program being from Yuri's point of view. So we kind of come full circle with it, which I like. And so I also like in this that we get some of Victor's self-doubt where he's like, because when Yuri's nervous and the part where Victor's like, well, this is the point where you meet me. You don't have a good face. You don't have a happy smile on your face. Does that mean you weren't happy when you met me? Like Victor having some doubt too. That's interesting that Victor shows like some hesitancy in all of this. It's great, but I love how the short program has its ups and downs. The Cup of China short program is like one of its when it's at one of its bests is in that program, and it's like mwah. But I love that Yuri on Ice, the free skate. I love that one is one that truly develops slowly over time. By the time he does it at the very end, it's perfect. It's like, But the short program, I feel like in episode 6 is one of its best performances because Yuri's all fired up. And we'll talk about that when we get to it. But yeah, so Yuri performs. It's great. I love that Nishigori is like, are you okay? He's like, is everything all right? You did great. Like Nishigori being the supportive person along with Minako. And I love that shot of Victor hugging Yuri. And he's got the cotton swabs up his nose. He's like hugging him like he's a hot dog. It's great. And then Minami says that he'll take him on next time. It's great. And so then we have the discussion about the theme of the program and what Yuri is going to name his program. And I love it. I love the conversation because I was talking to somebody on, I did a while back a video about Dick Fight Island, which is a yaoi manga. And so during that one, I was talking about like ranking BL series that I've watched in terms of various categories. And one thing that I said on there was that Banana Fish, I don't feel like I can put into a BL category because Banana Fish is not a BL. Banana Fish is a shoujo, right? It just has thematic elements that would make you think it's a BL. Like it talks about Ash and Eiji being like soulmates, and it has like kind of the relationship that they have is more like a soulmate vibe. It's not really romantic or sexual in any way, but I could see how someone would take it as that, right? But it's not technically a BL. And someone in the comments was saying, well, Yuri on Ice is not technically a BL. And I'm like, no, it's not. I will say, though, Yuri on Ice has way more subtext of BL than Banana Fish ever hoped to have. There is so much subtext with Victor and Yuri that I almost consider it canon. Because I'm like, there's parts where like Victor in episode 6 is like standing with Yuri and like has his arms wrapped around him. There's the point on the plane where they like have their heads on their shoulder. When we get to the rings thing, it's like, okay. And then Victor's like, no, it's an engagement ring. If Yuri gets a gold, we'll get married. It's like, like at that point, it's not subtext. It's like, nah, it's pretty canon at that point. But what I like about this show is that Yuri, when he talks about his theme being love, he's like, it's really more abstract, where he's like, it's not something I can easily pin down. He's like, I love my family and my friends, and I have love for them, and I have this feeling for Victor, like he's made me stronger, he's inspired me. He's like, I don't know what else to call it. The only thing I can think of is love. And it's like, and I love that in this dub and in the other thing, it's like, it's not necessarily romantic, but it's just like it's agape. It's an unconditional love that he has for Victor, right? And they make it vague enough to where you as the audience member, yeah, it's definitely an unconditional love, but we can determine, do we think that it's romantic? I do personally. I think it's very romantic. But it doesn't have to necessarily be that way. It can be platonic. It can be like a platonic soulmate vibe, but I interpret it as romantic for lots of reasons, namely the fact that Victor kisses him, but that's beyond the point. But yeah, but it's beyond that. I like that it's not just something as simple as romantic love. It's something that's powerful, and it's something that has much more substance to it than just like a fling or just, oh, I like this person. It's like, no, this is like a soulmate level that him and Victor become on. It's like, I freaking love it. It's great. And then, yeah, we go to the next episode. It's good times. So we'll get to this episode here. Let me cut forward to it. So yeah, we have them going to the Cup of China, like Victor wishing his dog goodbye, and the foreshadowing. He tells Mochi not to eat too many steamed buns, and that's what he ends up choking on. I was like, oh my god, rewatching this, I did not realize that was foreshadowed. I was like, oh my gosh, show, how dare you? How dare you? But we get them leaving the hot setsu to go on the plane, and the triplets like waving goodbye and everything. And I love that they're on the plane, and Victor's like, we're not flying coach, but do you think they'll still give us champagne? It's like, you bougie bitch. And then I love the shot of like Yuri mumbling in his sleep, and Victor's like passed out on his shoulder. It's super cute. But yep, they go over to China. And so we get some this is the episode, I love this because we start to meet the other figure skaters, and we start to get some rundown of all the different cup programs. And the sad thing is we don't see all the programs. I hope if they do a season 2, we see Russia, we see China, and we've seen Japan, right? But we don't get to see, I don't think we get to see France or America or Canada. We don't see America or Canada. Maybe we see France, but I don't think we see America or Canada. And so I really hope if we do a season 2 that we go over to the West Coast and get to see that. Maybe Yuri can stop by Detroit and see Gino. But yeah, so we see the Grand Prix final in Barcelona, in Spain. We see that one, and the one in Spain had the Cup of China final commences tomorrow. We see, so Fujino now Hiko. Fujino is the reporter. Fujino, he amps everybody up. He makes everything is a world record in Fujino's book. But so yeah, so we have Skate America. That was the first event, right? We have Skate America. Barcelona is where the Grand Prix final will be. But we have Skate America, where we have Leo took first, Odebeck Alton took second, and then we have Ji Guanghong Ji. So I love that we get our first glimpse of Odebeck. Odebeck took the silver just like Yurio. We get our first little peek at Odebeck, our sweet, serious boy that Yurio's crazy about. And then we cut over to Skate Canada from there. And of course, Guang Hongji was right next to Leo. That's where his crush started. I'm fully convinced that Guang Hongji has a major crush on Leo de Iglesia. Like, absolutely am convinced. And then we see Emil. Emil is the brother who is jealous of the sister, right? Emil is the one that has the sister, I think. And then, yeah, JJ, Jean-Jacques Leroy, gets the gold, and then Yuri Pletsky gets the silver, and he just looks mad at Jean-Jacques and them. And he just looks so sad. He has a silver. Like, our beautiful Yurio looks so sad. So sad. But then we have the Grand Cup of China. Nice. And the figure skating. I love how realistic this episode is. Like, it's basically like if you wanted to watch a figure skating competition, this is it animated. Basically, you just get all the behind the scenes. Survive with the power of love. And I love that Yuri... So, Victor is flawed. Victor is not a perfect person, first and foremost. Victor's not perfect. And we get a little glimpse of that because Victor can't sit still. He gets fidgety, right? And so Yuri is trying to give this interview, and Victor just totally doesn't even act like the interviewers are there. He's like, hey, let's go get some stuff, some food. And Yuri's like, I'm trying to have a interview here, Victor, you know? And Victor's like, oh yeah, oh wait, look, there's Jakob, I'll go see him. And he just kind of ditches Yuri at the interview, right? So Victor is a little flawed. Like, Victor getting easily distracted, and he's a little bit self-centered, where Yuri's struggling through this interview, and he's too busy worrying about, like, when are we going to go eat? Oh, look, there's somebody, I'll peace out and come back later. I love that Yakov and Georgi just kind of ignore him. Georgi Popovich, oh my god, he's great in this. His routine, that one with the witch of Caribou, and him with the makeup and then making fun of him, it's so freaking good. And so I love that Yakov's like, I would not eat dinner with you, you third-rate coach. And then Victor turns around and grabs Yuri. He's like, okay, bye, see ya. See you later. And so they go get hot pot, and they find the crab, the shrimp, everything. He's like, Vukuzno. It's so good. And so I like Yuri's jacket, where he's got the green jacket and everything. It's cute. He's like, I don't want to eat raw food before a competition. And Victor's like, I can. And so then Peachit, our social media, our vlogger, our Instagram follower. I freaking love Peachit. He's so fun. His English voice actor is a cinnamon bun too. He does a really good job as him. And he has the hamster on his phone. It's great. He's like, oh, and then so Gino comes. Gino shows up, the coach, and Victor's like, drink with us. And he's like, no, I'm not having your raw shrimp. I love it. And meanwhile, we have the crepe. We have Wang Hongji is eating the crepe, and he meets up with Leo. And they're like, hey, you want to go see Victor? And he's like, sold! He's like, let's go see what they're up to. These poor 17 and 19-year-olds, these children that have to be subject to Victor's shenanigans, his mid-20s shenanigans. Oh my god, it's great. I also like on Leo's phone, he has a conversation with Peachit. If you look at the phone, there's like a picture on the phone, and it's of like a Pekingese? A dog? What is even happening? And then you see Georgi. You see Georgi in the background being like, I don't want to go see Victor. Ugh. Georgi, here's the thing. Georgi is actually not bad looking in the show. Georgi is a very handsome guy. He just wears that god-awful makeup for his performance. Oh my god. And then they show up, and Victor is like, I love that Victor is like naked almost with his arms wrapped around Yuri, and Yuri's like, it's not what you think. And then Georgi, Gino is like passed out, and he's like, he's wasted. I love the voice acting for Peachy. It's like, he's wasted. Oh my god. And then we see Victor like shucking his pants at Leo and shucks his underwear at Guang Hongji. Oh my god, like they just, clothes go flying. It's ridiculous. And Victor gets nude. And then there's Victor with his arms like seductively around Yuri. It's like, oh my god. I love Peachy. He's like, wow. It's one of the best pictures. It's so freaking good. And Yuri's like, I can't believe this is happening. They're going to think that I'm messing around with Victor. And it's like, well, yes. And then my favorite shows up, freaking Chris. Chris shows up and just scoops in at Yuri's behind. He's like, why wasn't I invited to the party? I freaking love Chris's dub. It's so good. Christoph Giacometti. Oh my god. And yeah, and I love Victor. And Victor in the English dub was like, hi, Chris. Like, just in the most platonic, friendly way. Hi, Chris. Like, what you doing? And I love he's like, you left me, Victor. It's great. Oh my god. And of course, Leo and them are freaking out because Chris showed up. And he has like the beautiful eyelashes and everything. One of my friends from high school, not the English dub accent, one of my friends from high school, just his demeanor reminds me a lot of Christoph. I think that's why I like his character so much, because it reminds me a lot of my friend from high school. I'm like, you are just like him. It's amazing. But yeah, so this has brought up the idea that Yuri has taken Victor away. Victor has been taken off the scene, and all the competition Victor could be doing, all that energy and time spent, is spent choreographing and helping you, Yuri. And so Christoph is like, we're all so jealous. You took Victor away from us. You're hogging him all to yourself. I love that little like innuendo where he's like, you've gotten so much confidence. Must be your one-on-one sessions with Victor, huh? Like, it's great. But I like that Yuri gets fired up from that. He's like, fine. He's like, if you all think that I've stolen Victor, I'll prove that I deserve him, that none of you deserve Victor like I do. And it's like Yuri getting all fired up and being super Eros and super seductive. It's the best Yuri. Like, this performance of the short program may be my favorite in the season, because it's just Yuri just totally like a fire lit under him. And he's like, take this. I'll show you that I'm worthy of Victor. No one deserves him but me. It's like, But yeah, it's really cute. Peachy's little song and dance, it's cute. I like it. I think Peachy grows a lot in this season, which is fun. And then you have Hong Won-ji, and his program is cute too. But yeah, I love that Victor's just like, what's different about Yuri today? Something's fired up. And even Chris and the others are noticing. They're like, what's up with you? What's he thinking about? It's great. And then, yep, we cut to right before he goes on the ice. And I love it so much. That whole thing where, and I love that Mina and them, or Mira and them, they're like, look, Yuri-o. And he's like, I'm not looking. No. He's like, I can see from here. But I love that shot where he like has the hand over his hand. He's like, the time of thinking about pork cutlet bowls is over. You can seduce them just by being yourself. And I love that he has a hand like this. And that animation always gets me, where he takes it like this, and he like instead like intertwines their fingers. The little tiniest animation. And it's so good. It's so good. And then, yeah, he makes him like press their forehead, and he's like, don't take your eyes off me. Swoon. I could scream about it all day. So freaking good. And he does so good in the short program. Like, and even Victor's like amazed. I love that Yuri's looking like, I can't believe I did it. So that brings up a big point in this point of the series, is that Yuri's winning. And so what happens when you are on top? Are you able to maintain that? Do you break under the pressure? And Yuri has never really had this moment of being on top. So that brings up a new dynamic of, is Yuri going to be able to handle the pressure? And that's the big focus of the next episode. I think he gets silver in this cup, if I'm correct. I think he gets silver, but I can't remember. But I just love that Victor's like, well, of course they can't take their eyes off of you. It's so good. And so then, yeah, we have the program with Popovich, with Georgi. Oh my god. And the English dub of Georgi going, oh, like imitating the woman. It's so freaking good. I watch episode 6 over again a lot. Like, if I rewatch an episode 6 is one of them, because it's just one of my favorites. There's so much good to it. It's great. And then just all his makeup and everything, ridiculous. And like, his girlfriend is there, and she's in the women's figure skating, his ex-girlfriend. Oh my god. There's a lot of relationships talked about in this series, whether it's platonic, whether it's soulmate, whether it's ex relationships. Like, you have Popovich, who's broken up with his girlfriend. You have Leo and Hong Won-ji and whatever could be going on there. You have JJ obviously getting engaged to like the leader of his fan club. You have Yuri and Victor. You have Yurio and Oda back. Like, it's great, right? I love Gwang Hong-ji and how much he loves Leo. It's great. And then we get Chris. Chris and his EROS. Oh my God. It's the most outrageous thing. His butt in the air, just sensually dancing, like running his hands up and down him, and then having an orgasm on the ice every time. Like, Chris is the perfect amount of eccentric and just over the top cheese that I just eat it up. I love it. There's nothing malicious or condescending about Kristoff. He's sweet. He's just like, he's very competitive, right? Whereas JJ is just, JJ. We've not met JJ officially yet, so I'm gonna hold off my disdain for JJ, but nope. It's so good though. It's like, I think I'm going to come. Oh my God, it's great. I can only imagine the voice actors being like, I'm gonna say this, okay, sure thing. I love it. And then yeah, I love that Victor, like, you know, gives Yuri the pat. But yeah, so Yuri's in the lead. He's winning right now. And he's never been in that position before. So what's our boy gonna do? I don't know. I love it. I love that Yuri's like, oh God, I've never been in this position before. And so we have the other round, the second round, the free program. So yeah, of course we can't make it easy for our boy. He can't just instantly win, I'm sure. He's gonna have to overcome his doubts and everything in order to move forward. But God, I love it. I love that we get introduced to these characters. We're getting to know their own, like Chris's thing is about being inspired. Georgi is dealing with his breakup. Leo is just trying to like make his way to get to the Grand Prix. Gwang Hong-ji is struggling with finding the message of the songs and the message of the skate. Peachy has like all this aspiration and wanting to represent his country and do well. And then you have Yuri and Victor. It's great. So yeah, this episode and the last episode 5 and 6 are really good. And it's all uphill from here. I'm so excited. Some of the themes that we'll talk about with Yuri coming up in the next couple episodes are going to be great. Like 7 and 8 have some really good thematic things going on. And then of course there's the kiss, but I think that's episode 8. It's either 8 or 9. The keys, but oh my God. This episode, these two are wonderful. So I hope you all enjoyed this rewatch. And going through these episodes, this was a lot of fun. But I'm super excited to see what's going to happen next with our boys. And I hope you all are too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this rewatch, this reaction discussion. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below. No worries about spoilers. We can talk about whatever we want to because there's no spoilers. I've already seen the series. But yeah, so I'm excited to talk to you all about it below. But let me know what you guys thought. And then next week, we'll be looking at episodes 7 and 8 of Yuri on Ice. So in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back next week with episodes 7 and 8 of Yuri on Ice. Bye.